Hey everybody, welcome to the Trading Post. My name is Joey. I'm joined here today by Diamond.
Hi.
And this is our first podcast episode for the Trading Post. And yeah, we're just gonna be talking about what it means to be an artist. The Trading Post is a creative collective that is designed to help artists from this area. That we're on the Native American reservation up in northern Arizona, the Navajo Nation. And we're just trying to create a space for artists and for creatives to come together and to be able to discuss what it means to be an artist and to support each other. So yeah, with that, I'll open it up to you, let you introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you do.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Diamond, or Momo, whatever floats your boat. I'm an interdisciplinary artist from here, Navajo Nation. I am half I'm half Black, a quarter Navajo, and a quarter what I like to call New Mexican. So
you're a mix of everything.
Yeah. Good.
Yes.
Holy.
Yes.
My primary focus is my business, which is Before The A.M. I do sculpted jewelry, accessories, XYZ, all fashioned after the shape of an eye.
Yes,
I've
seen your
unique.
Instagram. Loved it.
It's
we kind of connected over that because I have an iPhone case.
Yeah.
And so when you saw that, you're like, oh, that's my art.
That's literally what I do. And everything I do under Before The A.M. is kind of a safe space for some of the experiences I had growing up between here and nearby border town where we are close to.
Yeah.
And I've done everything under the sun, from sculpting to textile art to multimedia art, basically anything. I've been in museums, I've done installation art, all of that.
Okay, awesome.
So
yeah,
that's a little about me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, we know each other through. I mean, you DM'd me,
yes,
which was awesome because you saw my TikTok.
Yes, yes. I guess to jump off that actually is that I moved here back onto the reservation because I was kind of met a dead end as an artist outside of the reservation. And I ended up buying a house, and I'm transforming it into my sanctuary, and I'm recording it. And in that journey of trying to figure out like who my people are around here, I went on TikTok and I found you.
Yes.
So
yeah. I'm so glad you did because we really have vibed over our visions. I'm trying to create this space, like literally this space. This is an old abandoned like apartment space.
Yeah.
And trying to turn it into the Trading Post / like a living space for myself. And you're, doing your home. And but we did know each other from when we were kids too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. We like brushed past.
I know, because I remember you, but you're about 3 years younger than me, I think. And you were on my sister's ballet team. Yeah. And she's even older than me. So I feel like you guys didn't interact that much.
Yeah, we were like on opposite ends of this class that we took that no longer exists, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It was very sad.
It was a very moment in time kind of situation.
Yes, it was.
And so it's kind of funny that we met there. Or like have definitely brushed paths. Yeah. So
because you were a dancer through high school even too, right?
Yeah. So I guess a little more of my background is like I started from 3 to 18. I was a dancer, competition dancer towards my older years. I developed an injury, had to stop dancing, but towards like, preteen to like early teenagehood, I discovered like media. So anything under the sun of like collecting kinds of like paper clippings and stuff, and I wanted to recreate it. So I joined my mixed media class in high school, and from there I just knew that was in my back pocket. And so when I developed my injury, I decided maybe I'll just like make something cool.
Yes,
and
cool.
Yeah, the rest is history.
I love that.
Doing art since then.
Yeah, because once you're an artist and once you kind of learn how to express yourself through a medium, you're just you're an artist.
Yeah. And so, I just took that and ran with it. Cool. And then, developed, like I said, the Before The A.M. And then installation and art pieces outside of that kind of came as like an extension of that. And so,
okay.
Yeah, sorry, I don't remember where we're going with that.
No, I love that. Yeah.
But I digress. We brushed paths.
Oh, yeah.
I started doing art.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you, like we said, you went to school in a border town. I stayed here on the reservation, but I feel like I've always known your grandma.
Yeah.
We went to church when I was growing up. Like I know her.
Yeah. Everyone somehow knows everyone here.
Yes,
so
yeah.
that's how it goes. Yeah.
We're old friends, I
Yeah,
guess.
you
Old
know, say
acquaintances.
old friends.
Yes. I also brought my favorite pizza edge order for us to
Word.
share.
Yay.
Because I asked you what yours was. You said I could bring my order.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
next time we'll do your order.
Okay, word.
But I mean, this is just the basics. I usually also get like wings. I love honey mustard wings. Those
No
are
way.
Yes, that's my flavor.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
That's all I ate as a kid.
All right. Well, what is your connection to Pizza Edge?
So Pizza Edge, if you don't know, it's the reservation's pizza,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Back in 1989, my family has lived here for a few generations now, but 1989, my dad started this pizza restaurant, and now it has a few locations across the res.
Yeah.
So this is my family's restaurant.
Yeah.
And,
Hey.
and that's what I'm known for, honestly. I got a TikTok following me because I'm a Pizza Edge kid. So
it's a beautiful thing.
I know.
Yeah,
it is.
you're an heir.
I am to the pizza kingdom here.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like you're like famous.
I know. So we got our breadsticks.
Hey.
So good.
Yeah,
and then here's the sauce. Anyway, so we forgot to get plates, but
it's okay.
Okay, well these are our plates.
Okay.
Here.
Thank you. I'll grab that.
Okay. Okay. So my order is usually pepperoni and pineapple.
Word.
Because I know the traditional is ham and pineapple, but I feel like pepperoni is just spicier. It gives sweet and spicy.
Same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's almost the same thing, but better.
Yeah. Here, do you want to take some of this?
Thank
piece?
you.
Oh my gosh, their breadsticks are so
I know.
good.
I know. Well, honestly, the breadsticks are elite, I will say. I'll admit to that.
I have a controversial way of eating pizza.
Okay, tell me. Show me. Corner
Reverse.
first?
Of course.
Whoa.
It only makes sense.
I could see that.
Well, it only makes sense. Well, I like
Explain.
this part first. Well, I like this part, period. This is like my favorite part of the pizza.
the crust.
Is like the crust. And so why don't I just start with it?
Why don't you just get into it?
There's no rules.
There are
Yeah.
no rules. Honestly, that's my biggest thing with pizza. People always ask, what's your favorite kind of pizza? I'm probably like chewing really loud into this
No, I know.
mic.
I didn't really think about this.
I know. It's ASMR at this
Yeah.
point.
I didn't really think about how hard it is to
I know.
eat and talk at the same time.
I know. Let me talk.
Yeah.
I'll stop chewing. I honestly feel like people always ask like, what's your favorite kind of pizza? What toppings do you think are like blasphemous, whatever? Because a lot of people hate pepper or pineapple, for example.
Crazy.
It's a controversy.
Yeah.
But I just think pizza is, at this point, like, this is American pizza. And I think with American pizza, you're just kind of allowed to do anything. And if it's good, it's good, you know?
Yeah. I mean, why not? It's literally just bread and sauce and cheese. What's the difference between this and like a sandwich? Like, you sandwich artist, what about a pizza artist? Be for real.
Yes,
Yeah.
be for real. Yes. I love it.
No, pizza rocks. But Pizza Edge rocks even harder.
I know.
Yeah.
Pizza Edge is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Pizza Edge was actually the inspiration behind the Trading Post, kind of, because I wanted to start like selling Pizza Edge merchandise, which I'm repping right now.
Hey.
But
Yeah.
but then I was like, well, I would rather have it tied into like a community effort and like also help bring up other artists and small businesses in the area. And then I was like, okay, well, back in the day, they used to have trading posts that were like the centers of commerce where people could come together and sell their wares and lift themselves up while also interacting with each other, communing, trading things, you know, and just a gathering space, I guess. And so that's where the Trading Post was born out of, was just the idea of like, okay, well, Pizza Edge can start getting some merchandise on there, but I also want to get some other artists involved and create a collective out of artists from the area.
Sure.
So that's the mission, that's the dream right now.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah.
And I think that like everyone low key kind of wants to do something like that, especially when you like observe our population and like being from this area, like we are the closest point to a border town like anything outside of what it means to live on the reservation.
Yeah.
So there's so many people here who have that experience of, you know, knowing what it's like to live in a quote unquote developed, you know, community. And I just think like these people need a place that, I don't know, kind of caters to that need or want, or something adjacent to that. And I think that that's what Trading Post kind of is. It's like providing something adjacent to things that you've seen in the outside world.
Yes,
and you want to apply it to our own community. Because our community is so specific and unique in so many ways. And you can't really take anything from the outside world and bring it here. And it, you know, you can't copy and paste it. It's so individual to here. It's like there's nothing you can really do about the condition. I hate to call it that, but like the condition here, because it's so ingrained in our culture and our community and like what it means to be from here. Even people like you who just have been here for generations, like you well understand that there is like a culture of, you know, our community, like, you know what I mean? And it is very unique.
So specific.
Yeah. And you can't, I mean, Pizza Edge is a great example of that. Like, you know, you can't just put a Pizza Hut here or something like that.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's something that is a part of the culture. You know what I mean? And sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. And I mean, when you think about it, it's like, this is even like a sovereign nation and it's huge and people don't know about it really. And they don't think about it that way. And they don't talk about it like that off of the reservation. Like leaving, nobody knows what the Navajo Nation is in my experience, you know? And it's just like, but there's such a specific culture here and it's so kind of insular and yet it's so diverse.
Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do like with our cultural roots. Like from what I understand, like it being completely nomadic tribe for this region, like comparatively, we're neighbored with like the Hopi Reservation and also Apache reservations and the Zuni Reservation. So there's and so many more. Havasupai. There's so many other. There's 13 just in this area. You know what I mean? And if you look at every single like migration pattern of these people, or maybe not migration patterns, but like the way that they embrace their communities, Navajo is so different from that. It's very different. We have sheep camps, so there's a winter camp and a summer camp, and we are constantly moving in between that. And on top of that, we live in hogans, and you know we're kind of away from everyone. So it kind of embodies the idea of being isolated and making it, you know, a full body kind of thing. Like you being isolated and being away from, you know, different influences is very much, you know, the Navajo identity. But obviously as like colonization took place, like we adopted very much so many different things from so many surrounding cultures, as so many have of us too. Like it's created this identity, this pan-Indian identity that, you know, a lot of people can relate to, you know, a lot of people from reservations can relate to. Like, totally. We all kind of have the same basis of understanding of what it's like to live on a reservation and what it's like to be here. And I think, I don't know, in a way it's a very beautiful thing, but at the same time, it can be extremely harmful. And I think that you see ideas of this, especially like on the internet and on TikTok and stuff like that.
I was literally just about to say that.
A lot of, I don't know if they're influencers, but like people who share their life on the reservation, they are, no matter how you frame it, are embracing this idea of pan-Indianism. And it's not a bad thing, but it is a harmful thing in a lot of ways because there's so many people who aren't from the reservation who see that and think that we embody this one Indian identity. And I hate to say the word Indian, but that's the only way that you can put it in like full terms. But at the same time, pan-Indianism also, I think, really, I don't know, it just makes things immediately accessible, immediately like relatable, you know? Totally. And I can't remember where I was going with that, but
well, like, I mean, and I think that maybe that like furthers the mythology, the mythologizing of the Native American.
Totally.
And then it's almost like people take on that projection almost as like, this is the only way to be Native American, when there are so many, but that's furthering the colonial project of disconnecting people from their culture and their heritage and their roots.
Right.
And so to be able to reconnect for people that didn't grow up on reservations, I have followers that I've talked to, or, just people that I've met that didn't grow up on the reservation, and they feel really disconnected and almost rejected by their communities.
Sure.
Because they don't embody what this maybe pan-Indianism
this idea
is.
of pan-Indianism. No, it's a harmful thing in so many ways, because you can project this identity of yours to so many people and get so much validation and affirmation from that. But the problem is there's no touching grass. Those kinds of, influences that we have on the internet, they don't really, it doesn't really translate to real life, because it's not what it's like to live here. Yeah. An example of that is where we're from is so diverse. Like, there's so many different kinds of people here. I mean, you were talking about once, like, having most of your classmates being Filipino or something, like, some other kind of Micronesian culture. Yeah. I grew up with so many people that were, half white or something, some kind of mix of something. My mom grew up with so many people from all over the place. And that has a lot to do with, like, what resources we have that were provided from this colonial power that does have their claws very much deep in what it means to be on reservation, what I mean? Like, government and all that stuff brings other people here. And I think that that's one part that goes kind of under the radar. And then when you come here, you're like, oh, it's completely normal. And people are really just doing normal stuff here, just like everywhere else. And it's just as diverse as everywhere else. Yeah. It's like,
but like the main representation is Navajo or Hopi. Yeah. And then the mixes come into that instead of like the main representation being white or black.
Yeah. And then it's kind of flipped in a way. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Where you go,
like, I was the minority.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And then on top of that, you're also assuming an Indigenous identity in some kinds of ways. Like, if you participated in any way, and I mean, anyone can relate to this, if you participate in any way in our school system, we are so eager, even on the reservation, to reconnect to our culture that everyone learns, what it means to be Navajo.
I was taking Navajo class from kindergarten. I was reading Navajo in kindergarten. I was speaking,
And same thing. Like, I learned Navajo all throughout school. I learned Navajo at home. I learned how to read and write in school. You know what I mean? And just to think like how, I mean, I'm just like a great example of that is like, I'm half Black, a quarter Navajo, a quarter miscellaneous, whatever. Yeah. And if I didn't grow up here, I wouldn't know Navajo. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And there's so many mixes of people that are just like me who got to only live with their, Black side of their family or the other side of their family. And they wouldn't have
met them.
Yeah. And it's just like crazy because it's just how strong, the cultural influences. I was taught that in school. Do you know what I mean? Like, and now so much so that I also assumed a primarily Indigenous identity. It's a very interesting thing. Like, that's how strong and influential it is,
And I mean, that's kind of why I'm back here after living off the reservation. We talked about how we've both like lived off the reservation. I've lived in New York, you lived in Denver. And the Bay Area, and how this will always just still feel like home though, because this is very cultural roots. And so it's like, when I'm out there, I can't really explain that to people, or they just don't get it because they're like, we all grew up in America, right?
Sure.
Like, there was a girl that was a friend of mine, and she was like, everybody tries to be so unique and interesting, but we all grew up in suburban America. And I'm like, okay, you guys grew up in suburban America, first of all. And like, there's a sovereign nation in the United States that you guys don't even think about or know about,
Yeah.
And Native Americanism, I like anything that has to do with Native Americans is a myth to you.
Yeah. No, it's like it's like kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like, even in places like Denver or in Colorado, there are no reservations, but it's so interesting because everywhere there is so Indigenous. Like, there's so many Indigenous people everywhere. They're everywhere, and you don't really realize how much of your society is influenced by Indigenous cultures and practices and whatnot. And it's so bizarre that there are people in the world that don't even know, like, it's like totally doesn't exist. Like, it's like dinosaurs, what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's like so bizarre.
I know.
But at the same time, in kind of navigating that world, you meet people who are just like you know what I mean? Who did grow up on the reservation, because they are everywhere. You know what I mean? People are everywhere. Like Indigenous people are everywhere, and you meet those people, you kind of have an understanding. And at one point, I think you really had a really great term to call this as like being like a third culture kid.
Yes.
Because, you know, I know that term is very specific to like migrants or people who don't, you know, aren't from America proper. And they have very specific culture, and we kind of can relate to that as even as little as driving like an hour and a half outside of our community. It is completely different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you meet, you know, you kind of have to like code switch and understand different ways of being and stuff.
And when people hear like, oh, you're from there, like they just think like, that's why do you live there? What do you do there? You know?
Yeah. And you meet these people and you want to kind of harvest that energy that you feel when you finally do meet someone that's like you and you click, you know? And I think for me, that was the driving force to come back home, because I kept meeting people, like you're saying, like reconnecting people who were from here, but just like, you know, took the opportunity to be somewhere else and are striving to get back home. You know what I mean? You take so much out of you to make a life somewhere else. And you know, at one point, I think it happens to everyone from here. It's like, you know, it's just at one point it's time to go home. And I think that the trading post is a great way to kind of, you know, I don't know,
to incorporate that community. Attune people like that are, you know, returning or that are reconnecting, just having a third space. Having a third space and, you know, providing what you need from the life that you used to have. You know what I mean? Totally.
Because I think we both can relate to this. Like you're saying, like we're both from different places. We built our lives out there, and that you kind of need both to live. You know what I mean? You can't just be there forever and then come back sometimes. You can't just be here forever and not go back other times, because our lives are so intertwined and there's so many people like us. And it only makes sense to start something that really, like I said, like tunes that feeling and provides a space for that feeling. And Trading Post is that. It's, you know, making it accessible for Indigenous artists to access e-commerce. It's making it accessible to have a community of people who think just like you. That it makes it, you know, it just provides this, I don't know, this idea that you're not alone. That you are here, and we're going to scream from rooftops for you, and we're going to be your community, and it'll be fine. Because I think that's another thing is like we don't really have spaces like that here already.
I know.
That you can just hop in and be here and doing that.
I know. And I think, like you were saying, the reservation, like it makes it more sustainable to live on the reservation if you can live like that. If you can, because, and also like you were saying earlier with TikTok being a thing, I think so many of the youth here have now grown up with TikTok. And so they see, it's kind of the globalization of the youth of the world. Of where it's like, okay, now youth culture lives on the internet and it's all displayed out there on these social media platforms. But the kids here, they're just as plugged in, and yet it's almost outlet. Like, there's no outlet. There's no like balance between like their physical reality and now their global reality or their global citizenship. No, totally. I think that is the one thing that we are lacking as like a people, you know, like we are, on top of living already in a very isolated based society, we're also dealing with people who are children of the internet. Like, you know, that's just like a world where now everyone understands this is the generation of people who are on the internet. You know, it's not going anywhere. They're online chronically. And they have been for a while now.
And it's like those people off the reservation have the opportunities to take those ideas that they're learning from the world and put it into, you know, something that they're doing in real life. No, literally. Sorry. Then that's okay. But to take that and put that in somewhere in real life, or they have people that they can meet here in real life, you know, and here, on top of being 75 or 76 miles away from everything, you know, on top of being like, just in a place where we don't even have like really a community center or a library or someplace where you can just hang out, you know, like there's just so many obstacles that can't immediately be defeated, you know, and it's just, again, like just Trading Post really is trying to get all those ideas and put it in a place where something can materialize, you know? Yes, that's exactly the vibe. It's the vibe. And we've also mentioned how Change Labs, the new program that's happening with Change Labs,
I think they have a few locations across the reservation, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think they're starting a Crown Point.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, location.
Yeah, and then they have one here, which is so cool because that is like the kind of third space that we're talking about.
Sure.
Where it's like, this is where Native creators and entrepreneurs and things like that, which there are so many.
Yeah.
But it's just, there needs to be community when you're doing things like that. And so it's like helping create that community. And then, of course, the Trading Post hopefully becomes something where people can continue forward with community past their time at Change Labs, but also Change Labs is always there. Like I'm co-working there all the time.
Sure,
yeah,
totally.
I love it there.
No,
so.
I mean, Change Labs is a great example of seeing like people who they really need it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no place, we don't have like a forum that says like, oh, I need this, I need this, I need this. You know what I mean? And so Change Labs is a great example of like that grassroots people just being like, okay, fine, let's just do it. You know what I mean? Let's just go ahead and do it. And that is, they're meeting a need that is so long, like, I mean, people have been desperate for something like that to kind of, you know, just help people with entrepreneurship, which is crazy because that is the basis of our culture. You know what I mean? Like,
it's to create.
Yeah, it's to create. I mean, so much of our revenue is, as a tribe, is brought in from arts and crafts and things like that, using things and traditional ideas to create art. You know what I mean? There's nothing else to do. That's all people do is create art. You know what I mean? And so Change Labs really is providing a space or a connection as a liaison to bring that, you know, to real life, you know?
Yeah. And there need to be liaisons like that.
Yeah. And I think, again, just to like hammer it in, you know, self-plug again, like Trading Post is to, I mean, the idea, I think, is to create a net after you meet all of those business goals you've worked on yourself, and now you just need all the people underneath you being like,
we're
we got it.
We're together.
We're going to do it together. Yeah, I think it, like I said, I think the best way to put into words like what Trading Post is like, it just provides Indigenous artists a space to access e-commerce. It is a space to, you know what I mean, workshop things with each other and kind of throw things at the wall and see what sticks. As much as Change Labs helps with all of those things, there just comes a point where you kind of do need to evolve and grow and stuff. And I'm sure there's the logistical stuff, but I think, again, to hammer or to pin that need that you get off the reservation that you end up bringing back home is like, where's all my guys?
Yeah, literally, exactly.
Yeah, where's all my guys that we could just like kiki and like talk about it and like figure it out and you know what I mean? But also including that idea of like what it means to be on the internet. You know what I mean? You have like a pretty good following. I've just been on the internet yapping away forever, it feels like. And so I think we both have like pretty good ideas of what it means to like do short form content, like things like that. And I think like there's just not enough youth presence in what it means to be an entrepreneur these days. And I think that that's kind of what we mean by meeting that need.
Like, I feel like we're kind of I definitely am the elder Gen Z, like very much.
But you're still Gen Z.
Yeah,
don't
let them
talk down to you.
But I'll flip this over. But no, like, I feel like I being that like kind of means something to me though, because it's like, okay, well, I have a responsibility to help show other Gen Z people and Gen Alpha, like just the younger people that we're pioneering growing up on the internet and we have to be pioneers and we have to do things like this.
And you need to use that power for good and understanding how to use that. Cause that's just the thing is like, sure, you can get on the internet and do your like outfit of the day or whatever every single day. Sure. Yeah. But what is that actually doing? You know what I mean? For your people, like what is that actually doing? Like most of the time people are not geotagging their stuff. They don't know that you're just right down the street. Wouldn't it be so nice to know that someone's just right down the street? I mean, all it took for me is to like, I feel like there's like a generational gap here.
Yeah,
where
definitely.
At one point you just learned to not reach out, you know?
Yeah, no, I know. Like our social skills are different and they're not as good.
Yeah, and I think being older Gen Z, we just know like, okay, like
you have to reach out.
Yeah, you have to. And I think that that's like how this came about. It's like if I didn't have the social skills to be like, oh, just say it, what's up? You know
literally. Just send the DM.
I mean, because that's the part that's missing. Like magic could really happen all over here, but it doesn't because we just like, again, being an isolationist, like based community, and also just like not having a place convened, but also being kids of the internet. It's like, how will you learn to just say what's up? How do you know that you won't be met with confrontation? How do you know that someone's not just going to accept your ideas? You know what I mean? And so like being here and showing up and being present is the least that we could do, and provide that, you know, inspiration and representation as kids who came home to do something good.
Yeah, exactly. Period.
Yes. Hey.
No, I love that.
But like, I just like feel like this is a good thing. And while it is very small and very little right now, I think that we are destined for good. And maybe who knows, that couldn't be, you know, it doesn't have to be this, but maybe someone really needs this community. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're just here to say that we want you, and we're here for you. And
we're all in this together.
And we're all doing the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. we're all trying to find each other. You know? And I mean, speaking of that, I did want to start a little tradition here where it's the trading post.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to trade something. And so I'll give mine to you, and then you give yours to me. Okay. Well, you start first.
Okay, I'll start first. So like I said, I am an artist of all kinds of things. So this is what I do primarily. I make like goofy, silly things like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is a signature piece.
Yeah, it is a signature piece. So everything I make, again, has eyes on it. And the inspiration for that, people ask me all the time what it is. And I have literally no answer, but I've been thinking about it lately. And I think that the best way I can put it is, the reason why there's eyes on everything is kind of an embodiment of this feeling that I had growing up of being so different from everybody and being so watched all the time. Everyone looking at me everywhere I go. No matter where I go, I don't look like anyone. I'm just random. You know what I mean? No, and so when I stand behind my table and have all these eyes looking right back at you, it's a very empowering thing.
Amazing.
So that's what that's about. By some lore from me, I used to tattoo also for a living, and stopped doing that. And I said, you know what, I can't just throw all these flash sheets away, so this is one of my flash sheets.
That's so
I turned
cool.
it into a print.
I love a good flash sheet, and this is so cool. So like, people have these tattoos now.
Yeah, actually I've tattooed this one on someone. Like, I've tattooed most of these on people.
That's awesome. I have a friend that if you ever want to tattoo her, she is so into
I love to.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I love these. These are so cool. I'm keeping this forever.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then you got some business cards on the back?
Yeah, my business card, my thank you card, all designed by yours truly.
Okay, no, they're so good. They're so good.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to put this on. Well, first, let me give you mine.
Okay. I'm so excited. I'll close my eyes.
Okay. Okay.
Oh. Shade.
Okay. Okay, we got a pizza shirt.
I'm so excited. Like, no, actually, so sick.
I know. I thought the color would look great on you.
Well, I love blue. I'm on blue right now. So this actually is perfect.
Oh, good.
You don't know how bad I wanted a Pizza Hut shirt.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't really talked to you about this, but like I used to like resell vintage. And that was like how I started being financially independent or whatever. And I was in like a random middle America state, and I was just at the thrift store because that's what I would do. I'd buy stuff and I would bring it back and sell it and whatever. But at one of these middle America's, middle of nowhere, like cow town, like Corn City.
Don't tell me.
I found a Pizza Hut shirt.
No way.
I did.
That's crazy.
I found a Pizza Hut shirt, but I was like, no one's gonna understand that. Like that, I just shouldn't buy it. What came back around when I thought about it again, and it was gone.
That's crazy.
But isn't that crazy that someone
insane.
Else in the same middle nowhere town?
These are floating around.
They're just out in the ether.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it must have been like an employee's shirt because.
No, totally.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, it was just like some regular Pizza Hut shirt. And I was telling the person I was with, I was like, do you know what this means to me? Like, then.
Okay, well, then.
I have original drip.
Yeah, you do have it. This is original. It's not even on the website yet. But there is Pizza Hut merch on the website, and we'll get some of your merch on the website.
Yeah, we'll have all kinds of stuff from me on the website.
Okay,
but
awesome.
That's so great. I'm so excited to start this journey.
I know. Let me put this on.
All right, word.
Super excited for all of this.
No, it's going to be so great. And hopefully in the future, we'll even have more people on here to like chat about their experiences too.
Yes.
So this is just a place where you can hang out with us and listen to us ramble and
I know. And
chat
just, yeah.
and Kiki
just
and hang
Kiki.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, oh, it looks so good. I love it. Oh, I'm speaking right into the microphone.
That's good. I love it.
Okay, it looks so good.
Here we have
Gonna keep
Before The
this.
A.M. X Pizza Edge.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we do. That is a collaboration that needs to happen eventually.
No, for real. That is so cool.
Oh my gosh.
Well, anyways,
Okay.
well, let's
bring it in.
Let's bring it in.
Oh, and I love your fit, by the way.
Oh, thank
Fit
you.
check.
Me made.
We got the bluebird.
Yes,
You made this?
I made this.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
the bluebird
me
flower.
made, representing Joseph City 8.
No way, you made that?
No, I didn't make this.
Oh, okay.
No, this
No,
is
but that.
This I made.
Yes. No, I love it.
Yeah, I'm like standing on my shoelaces. Sorry,
no,
but
no.
your fit eats down.
You know, it's just the Pete's Edge hoodie.
It's an everyday boys fit.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good. Well, anyways, do you want to plug some of your socials?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Good idea. Okay, so my socials, I just have 2 right now. On Instagram, I'm Joey's_moodboard. And then on TikTok, I'm Wayward_cowboy.
And I am Diamond the Rock Johnson on Instagram and YouTube. I post once a week on YouTube, or I try to. And I am Diamond Along Johnson on TikTok. My business handle is Before The A.M on Instagram, and I think also on TikTok.
Okay.
I never post on TikTok, so don't go over there.
Eventually.
Eventually. For the business, we'll be there eventually.
Yes. Yes.
That's for another time.
Perfect. Okay.
Anyways, well, this has been fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Yeah, we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.